Live. Hello, everybody. I'm waiting to go live here. So I am recording on Zoom. Now I'm going to record on Facebook. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Today I want to look at essay, a performance test that received an 85. And I do want to say this, that I usually don't look at essays that have received an 85. I like to look at essays that received maybe a 70, 75, because that's achievable. And I would say that. I say, hey, just go for it, go for a 70. That's what, if you look at my website, that's what it says. That I'll teach you how to get a 70, because I feel very comfortable. I know very comfortable knowing that bar candidates can replicate that. An 85, I don't say, hey, look at my essay, look at my website. I'll teach you how to score an 85. I don't do that. But this time I will, for the July 2024, because I want to say first that the quality of the writing for question 5 and question 6 overall was substandard. For you bar candidates out there, okay, those two, the way you responded, it was done in a very unsatisfactory fashion. And I'm not happy about that, because then I have colleagues that are now writing in an unsatisfactory manner. But what does that mean? Aside from my feelings, what does that mean? Here's what it means for bar candidates. It means that if you're able to write in a proper format, it means that you're going to be well above the other candidates, okay, who are writing substandard and are getting passing scores. So we're going to look at an essay, a performance test, and it's completely achievable. You can definitely score at the same level here if you follow these rules that I'm going to suggest to you. Now, with that said, I am going to hold a webinar. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see now. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. Give me a second. Have the camera here. Share screen. I am going to have the share screen. You guys can see my. Okay, let me lower this. I want to have this. Okay, so there it is right there. Let me see if I can enlarge this. Performance test A to Z webinar using July 2024 as the basis. So that's going to be on January 16th. I believe that's a Thursday. And you can sign up via Patreon. So thank you everyone who subscribed to Patreon. For this one, you do have to pay. And it's like, what, $20, which is nothing. And you get all these resources, right? I mean, it's something, but I mean, the quality you receive, do it. I'm telling you, do it. So that's the link there, patreon.com/counter_argument. There's a C in between there, but yeah, so that's how you get to it. I should have a link somewhere. Anyway, there's going to be a recording there. Now let's go back to this essay here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look at the essay from Bar Essays at the PT that received an 85. And I'm going to show you guys the rules that person extracted. And the reason why I chose the 85 again is because I looked through bar essays. I looked through all of them, all of the performance test essays. And I said, well, let's go for a 65. I said, no, but yeah, I think I did. So let's go for a 65. Let's review that. But it was substandard. Okay, let's go to a 70, substandard. Let's go to a 75, substandard. It's the true story. I was like, look, I was like, I mean, yeah, I was disappointed. I was truly disappointed that a 75 was given to that essay, and it was substandard. So I had to go. I said, look, this is hopeless. But I said, let me try one more. And I said 85. Let me click on that. And I looked at it and I said, you know what? This essay here it just has the proper format. It has the rules, and it's something that I teach all the time. And what does that mean? How do you translate that? That means that if you're able to write in proper format there, just follow the rules, follow the format of the PT, and then and then you're able to create something that is superior craftsmanship there. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys. And the thing about this essay here, about this performance test, was that they were testing you on timing, you guys. They said, hey, look, we know that if we give you all this content, you're going to run out of time unless you apply techniques. And this person, I'm sure, applied techniques because they didn't they didn't get bogged down on unnecessary rules. They just said, hey, look, let me go ahead and strike this rule. Let me I'm sure they had a timing, some kind of timing strategy there. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna show you the rules I'm gonna show you the rules that were used from the library and the rules that were not used. And I know a lot of you guys use some of the rules that weren't necessarily important, but you spent so much time on it. And yeah, and I mean it was, yeah, that's what led to the a lot of people getting non-passing scores. And some of the scores that were passing, I don't want to get into that, but yeah, let's focus on the positive and let's go from there. So what I did was I said, hey, look, let me look at the rules that the person used. And I always say that there's three types of rules, you guys, in the library. There's three types of rules. And if you're able to distinguish between the rules, and then you're able to you're able to write something that is of quality nature. Not only that, but you use your time efficiently. So the three rules that I have, and this is the performance test here. I call these the low-hanging fruit because everyone usually gets this. Low-hanging fruit, they're very apparent. Okay, they're very apparent. And that's what the person used here. But then there's also what I call less than apparent rules. Where do you draw the line? Okay, like the way that where do I draw the line? Based on two things. How apparent is the rule and how much time do I have for each section? So if you're able to say, hey, look, there's three types of rules, and I have to go, I have to, I have to, I have to go through all the steps, then you're eventually going to hit all the points there, the key points. But if you don't have any techniques there, you're going to get stuck on one point. Okay, so then the third type of rules are the rules disguised as facts that lead to factors. Okay, now I used green here. I wrote factors, then I wrote rules, and that here it's in green. Okay, so just to use as a legend here, the apparent rules here are in yellow, the less than apparent rules are in blue, and the rules disguised as facts or the factors are in green. So notice how this person, look, all this right here, all these, there could have been rules there that some of you guys took as rules, but just skipped right through that. Look at that. Boom, they didn't use all that. They got here, they got to this section here, they said, okay, let me get strategic here. And they were able to analyze that. Now, this looks very simple because, and I say it looks very simple because in essence, it is simple. It's very simple. And from what I see from my experience in the performance test, from actually taking the exam, of course, and passing, and also tutoring, is that the more simple your process is, the higher the probability of getting a higher score. You make it all complex, then yeah, and some of you guys come in with a lot of complexity, and you see a lot of just, okay, the quality starts to go down. Yeah, that's hard. That's so hard to imagine, right? The the more simple it is, and then because this is made to be simple, you guys. The way that my process here is made to be simple because the flip side of that is if it's complex, it's just too much. It gets convoluted. I mean, it's not good. Okay. And the best thing about this process here, about distinguishing the quality of rules, is that you can replicate the quality over and over again. Now, when you get to the second essay, when this person got to the second essay, and then it starts to, I mean, it's good. I'm not saying that it's bad at all, but yeah, some of the low hanging fruit there, the person, right? It's not clear where the low hanging fruit or the less than apparent rules are. It's not clear. Okay, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine because everyone has a timing technique or some kind of different approach. But as long as you have an approach, and what I'm saying is, I'm saying, look, I'm sharing with you my approach. Okay, so again, let's look at the rules here, and they use the low hanging fruit, right? They transferred it over, and that's going to be key here for July 2020, for February 2025, because it's online. It's, you don't have the hard copy anymore. So if you were able to say, hey, look at the screen and just highlight, okay, great, low hanging fruit, less than apparent. So you're able to make those distinctions. You're able to make those analysis a lot quicker because you're able to spot the keywords. Okay, great. So let's see what I wrote here. Let's see now. Low hanging fruit. Okay, we both agreed that it's low hanging fruit. And then the blue is the less than apparent. Okay, so I wrote here low hanging fruit or less than apparent. Now I thought it was low hanging fruit. Okay, this person thought it was, again, less than apparent rules, and that's perfectly fine as long as you have a strategy. Because again, what I'm saying is go through all the steps. So the way I determine if it's low hanging fruit again is if it's very apparent and if I have some time to to highlight it and also to transfer it over to my word processor. I'm not, if I don't get to it, I'm not skipping it. I'm gonna just do it on the next round. And so first low hanging fruit, then second, less than apparent rules. And then of course you go into the factors. Okay, and I will show you where the factors are in the case. That is very easy to determine where the factors are. There, they are towards the end of the case where you have the holding. If you just go up a little bit, then you'll see facts from that case, but they're converted into factors. Now, these are a little bit tricky to spot, and I call these, I also categorize these as extra points. These rules here. Why do I do that? Because a lot of bar candidates miss them, and I will tell you why they miss them. Because in law school, you have to brief a case. Okay, what's the rule? What's the holding? What's the facts? For the performance test, listen to me very carefully. Some of those facts can be converted into rules. Where do you find that? Again, towards the end. That's why I'm both here. On both, if I go to library, I wrote factors here at the bottom. Factors disguised, rules disguised as facts. It amounts to factors. And that's what that person did here. Look, boom. Let's see. If we just look at the color scheme, look what the person did. And then right now I'll show you the amount. After that, I will show you, we'll go back to the library and I will show you the amount of rules that were used and the amount of rules that were not used. Okay, so there's two sections here, low hanging fruit. Look at the amount of okay, let's go to this one here. Okay, again, this one was a little bit more simple because there weren't that many low hanging less than apparent rules. The key here, the key there was to ignore, the key there, again, let me say that, was to ignore the actual facts of that case. This was not used, that was not used, that was not used. Okay, and then they start focusing on the low-hanging fruit, less than apparent, factors, boom, that's it. Okay, second case, skipped all that. Skipped all that. Am I saying skip? I have a strategy for that. Okay, but again, that was not necessary. That was not necessary. Low hanging fruit, boom, right there. Less than apparent rules. Now here's where the art comes in. Look, they skipped that. Okay, so now they're skipping all this. They're saying, look, that's useless. That's useless. This is useless. Again, based on time, based on distinction. less than a parent, less than a parent, go for the rules, go for the factors. So if you're able to allocate time to these sections, 85, at least for this case here, at least for July 2024. Okay, so what I'm saying is, and look, for you people, for the bar candidates taking, sitting for the February 2025 exam, study, you want to study this format because most of the bar candidates are gonna fail. I'll tell you that straight up right now. Most bar candidates who are gonna sit for the February 2025 exam are gonna fail because they're looking, you know what they're doing right now? They're looking at rules and they're trying to memorize them. Okay, great. They're watching these these lectures. They're relaxed. Hey, yeah, okay, cool. That rule. What do you have to do? You have to practice. You have to apply the rules. You have to write essays. You gotta do what drains the hell out of your brain. You gotta write. And that's what I'm teaching you. These are writing techniques. So get excited. If your mindset is, hey, look, I'm gonna write. I'm gonna do what hurts, what exhausts me, not the easy things. Okay, then you're gonna have an advantage. All right, fantastic. So at this point, I'm gonna stop sharing. Let me see if there's any points that I missed here. I did say it was propertybaressays.com, right? Okay, great. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. And yeah, so I wish everyone, we had a lot of holidays, right? So yeah, it was easy to kind of get off track. Some of you guys stayed on track. Some of you guys spent, time and yeah, with family and all that good stuff. But yeah, now it's time to get back on track. Okay, so I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna end the recording.